everybody, and welcome to another episode of Connect with KB. I'm so happy to have you tuning in as we talk about business and education and leadership and all the wonderful things that connect us to each other. My guest today recently moved his sustainable outdoor footwear company, Holo, from Portland, Oregon to downtown Grand Rapids, noting that West Michigan is a fantastic environment because of its robust outdoor recreation assets, strong talent pool, and attractive business environment. I want to welcome to the podcast Rommel Vega. Rommel, thanks so much for being with me.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to speak to you.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the Rommel Vega story.
Yeah, I think it's very relatable to a lot of people who obviously, like to work hard and come to this country. My parents immigrated here from Central America. I grew up in Miami, Florida, went to design school. And then, really after high school, I moved to Michigan went to school in Detroit at the College for Creative Studies. And I always say I did not move to Michigan for the weather. So it was a really, really great design institution down in the Detroit area. I got my degree in industrial design and graduated from one of the top design schools in the country. And then the world just opened up for me. Went to work for companies like Fossil. Then I got my big break in the footwear industry, the shoe company Puma, and spent time in Germany, just kind of really traveled around the world, Vietnam, China, you name it. And then, like everything in life, things change, you move, you grow, you get married. Moved out to the West Coast, worked at companies like Columbia, Sorel, and Keen. And then, full circle, moved right back to Michigan. I was the lifestyle design director for the Merrell brand, which is under the Wolverine Worldwide here in Rockford, Michigan. So that brought me back and got the appetite to launch my own shoe company and moved back to Portland and kind of got started during the pandemic. Really reevaluated a lot of things. And here we are today, 2 years in, and got a robust business, doing business with a lot of big retailers. So that's a little short synopsis of the story of how I got to where I am.
Well, the neat thing about your company is this focus on being sustainable. And let's talk a little bit about that. How did you go there? Was it a lot of information that you had received from the companies that you previously worked for?
Oh, yes. Definitely when you're in the industry, I think at that level, and, you're part of leadership teams, you definitely understand the need for sustainability. I think as we kind of move forward in the world, we have to really understand that, global warming is a real thing, and you're seeing across the board, lakes are drying out, the water is warmer, and not to say that a sustainable shoe company is going to change that, but I think we're just trying to do our part. And also understanding that the consumer really cares. People recycle. I mean, my house here in Grand Rapids, it was just great when I moved. We got some recycling bins. I think we all have to do our part, and so the sustainability piece I learned from being in the industry, understanding the real need. The unique thing about the company is that we're sustainable and attainable. Our price points are definitely something that we really pay attention to, making sure that the consumer doesn't have to pay a premium price to do the right thing. And a lot of that has to do with just engineering and understanding, how much to put in the shoes. So we're making sure that the product stays, under $100. Our shoes are start at $45 and they go up to 100 different styles. But we really pride ourselves that, our product is made responsibly using, great materials that are post-consumer goods, meaning that they've been, recycled from plastic bottles in the ocean or recycled cotton, making sure that that product is, has a second life cycle, and also that the consumer doesn't have to break the wallet or break the bank to be able to participate in sustainability, which I think it's kind of the big piece that's been missing in sustainability. We need to make sure that a lot of people are participating on it to really make a difference.
Well, when you talk a little bit about that, is there a particular demographic that really is gravitating to the footwear, or are you finding that in younger people, or is it across the board?
It's pretty much across the board. Our distribution also really helps. We've been getting some early, we call them KPIs, which is key performance indicators. And for example, at a place like Nordstrom's, we're really seeing a lot of momentum with women. they're definitely gravitating towards the product, and a lot of the men's footwear that from Holo that are being purchased at a place like Nordstrom's, she's buying for him. So we're definitely starting to understand that consumer that, in the household, like, she really cares about sustainability, and then she's buying for her husband. So we're definitely seeing these really KPIs, and also from a age, everyone from like 22 to 45. So a very wide net of who's really purchasing the product, but mainly sits in that chunk of like 25 to 45. But the product is really made, definitely have different styles, and is really made for everyone. I would say with my investment group, is like, well, who are you targeting? Well, I'm targeting everyone that wears shoes, because that's the only way that we're going to make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. You came to downtown Grand Rapids through working with the MEDC as well as the Right Place in Grand Rapids, and I'll have to give a big pat on the back to my buddy Brent Case, who introduced us. Talk a little bit about that experience, and how did that play into coming to Michigan in general? Did they reach out to you, or how did that all begin?
We were at an event, and we met Brent. Talk about someone who really represents and lives that the drive to bring businesses to the local community. And I think I've always said from the beginning, we were interacting with a lot of people at the Right Place and a lot of people at MEDC. Brent has definitely been one who's championed the company from the start, and he definitely sees the value in what we're trying to do. And I think when I first told people that I was going to move the company to Grand Rapids, I think that they looked at me like I wasn't really serious. And we did it within 4 or 5 months. We just got up and went. A lot of that only happened because Brent was really instrumental in making sure that we had the resources that we needed, the communication with the MEDC, the support from the Right Place, from looking at different office spaces, warehouses. I mean, I'm sitting right now outside of our new warehouse. We moved not only the headquarters from Portland, we also moved our warehousing operation from New York to Michigan, to Grand Rapids here. So, a lot of this has been just a lot of support from the Right Place and MEDC, but mainly, Brent's been at the forefront, and I think he's just an incredible asset. And what I love about people like him, when you're a startup, you come across a lot of people, but, he follows up. How's it going? Anything else that you need, whether it's a text message, whether it's a phone call. And I think that is really what's needed to make sure that you feel that support that you want. And also, we have local angel groups. There's a gentleman by the name of Steve Temian and his team, Chris Branoff, a group of angels that they've invested in the company. And so, like, when you have that support from the state, from the local community, from local angel groups, Michigan Riots invested in Holo Footwear, Detroit Ventures invested in Holo Footwear. Then you really start to gain the traction that you need to make the we call it flywheel to really go.
Well, I saw, too, that, Governor Whitmer posted about Holo as well and welcomed you to Michigan. There's such an emphasis now on the workforce, really, in attracting young people into the workforce. How is West Michigan going to play into that for you? We've got the Kendall School of Design there in Grand Rapids. Are you working with students at this point?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in internships. I actually, when I was at CCS College in Detroit, the way that I got to where I am is through internships. So we were able to, put me in places to learn the business, and so that's what I'm trying to do. I know people like Kendall. We're going to start having those connectivity, that pipeline of talent. But I think when students and people care about sustainability, what they're going to really love about what we're doing is they can connect. They can really, really understand that it is important to do this.
Well, you're absolutely right. And I just wondered if, you're right downtown on Lewis Street, right? And you're open?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, we're open.
Yep. And I saw you posted that. Are you getting a lot of foot traffic right now? Are a lot of people coming in?
Yes, we are. It's funny you say you asked that. Yesterday, we actually had Meijer come in, the buying group from Meijer. So we're going to be at 50 Meijer stores, Tier 1, which is the more premium stores across the country. And so what's really great about that, we actually were able to host them in our downtown facility in our office, show our products, show them the shoe wall, and you really merchandise there with the local, one of the biggest local retailers in the country. So super excited about that, this partnership that we're going to have with Meyer, launching the brand in 50 of the top stores, all from Detroit to Grand Rapids to Traverse City, and really start building this relationship with them. Because, yes, we work with, national retailers like REI, which is one of our big partners, or Nordstrom's, but it's what the office does. And I think being downtown especially, what it does is we're able to bring these accounts and we're able to showcase, look, this is not some small town. This is a robust city, got places to eat, places to stay, entertainment. And so we're able to showcase that. And I think we really feel like we're a tool to showcase what Grand Rapids can offer, because we work with national groups, and we're also going to be bringing people internationally to the city to not only look at a product but also experience what's Michigan.
Well, you're going to so enjoy that group at Meyer, another asset to Michigan, and this relationship building is so critical for you. Have you had an opportunity to connect with other minority business owners in the region yet?
Have not been able to do that just yet. We have tried to, with the moves and also all the moving pieces, because as we're moving, the business still has to keep running. But I think one of the things that we're looking to do this fall is actually host, just other companies or startups, whether they're minorities or non-minorities, but just really, introduce them to either other venture funds that we're part of, or, just bring and see, other startups in the community, in the ecosystem that, maybe funding, support, connectivity. Those are all the things that we really feel that we can bring to the table.
Do you, how do you do this in terms of creativity with design and coming up with new styles?
Well, we're
I think I lost Rommel for a second. He's back. Yeah, he's back.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We have a great group of creative minds. And our ecosystem of creative people really goes beyond, our borders here in the States. We have, people in, London that have worked on product for us. A local, in fact, he's a local designer from Michigan that I went to college with. He moved to London and became a citizen, and he's a Michigander, and he knows what we're doing. He's got an incredible trajectory of having worked at big brands. And when I called him, his name is Brian. I was like, Brian, I need some help. I want to design this kind of product. He jumped on it, and so that's sort of what I say when you go to a community, and I think Michigan does have this, when you start rubbing elbows with people from all over, and then people go to different places, and when you have your company or your startup or anything, you're able to tap into talent no matter where they are. And, I always say that the beauty about Michigan is, like, if the only thing that Michigan gave the world was Herman Miller, it would be world-renowned. Or if the only thing the Michigan gave the world was Ford, it would be world-renowned. The only thing that Michigan gave the world was Motown, it would be world-renowned. And so, you start thinking about everything that's really come out of the region, and you can't help but to think that, I believe this is a time that it's going to go through a renaissance, and, we want to be part of that. Been in the West Coast for a really long time, and there's a lot of incredible things that have come out of the West Coast, but I'm a believer in doers, and I think Michigan definitely incubates and fosters doers, and I want to be part of that.
Absolutely. We build things, Rommel. That's what we do. Yeah. Hey, let's just talk real quick. You and I had a conversation, and I mentioned to you that, we have so many golf courses in Michigan, and have you had an opportunity to think a little bit about a Holo golf shoe?
Yeah, we're constantly looking at opportunities to scale up the business. And one of the things that, it's funny you mentioned that, my 9-year-old is actually going to start doing golf,
nice.
Taking golf lessons. And, he's a big fan of the brand. I'm personally going to start taking some golf lessons. And so, we have the right retail partners, right? We're in all of the right retailers that will definitely use an opportunity to be able to start, selling either golf shoes or other kind of shoes. We're an outside company. So anything that you do outside, we want to be sure that we're gearing you up for that, and funny enough, when I worked at Puma, I was in the golf category. So there's definitely some history there. Worked with a young man named Ricky Fowler when he was really young. And so having that sort of background, having done golf shoes, the appetite and the interest is definitely there. I think a lot of our investors will love it if we did it. So I think definitely it's a timing thing. It's not a when. It's just about timing.
Yeah, absolutely. Ricky's a first-class guy. I saw him. He had a 9 last week, I think, on 18, and walked off and easily could have just walked right into the locker room, and he stood there and he signed autographs for kids and went from one kid to another. So very impressive young man. Let's talk a little bit about your family real quick. I want to hear kind of the greatest lessons, your mom and dad and the influence that they had on you and others.
My parents, they're like every parent, they want the best for their kids. And I think talk about being selfless, them coming here to the States and, sacrificing, having to learn another language, sacrificing careers that they had, just to put us in a position to be successful and to be win. I think they just, from what I've learned from them, my parents were also entrepreneurs. My mom, she owned restaurants in Miami. So I got to see them wake up at like 4 a.m, come home at 11 o'clock at night. I think that hard work, it's really instilled in me. And also to have empathy on people and really understand, we're all humans at the end of the day. We're all, we can be from different places and we can have different languages, but undeniably we're all from this planet, unless someone, maybe Elon Musk is from somewhere else. I don't know. But we're all from here. And so, we all have to really treat each other with respect. It starts with respect. It starts with empathy. And, if you provide that to people, I think people will go up to bat for you like they have been for us, for Holo Footwear, and especially in the Michigan community. They definitely understand that, we have a mission. We want to do not just good for the planet, but we want to create jobs. We want to create jobs for people who are usually passed for whatever reason. So just they're obviously hardworking people, but they really just instilled in me respect, hard work. I still believe in the American dream. I definitely believe that if you work hard, you will accomplish it. You just got to work harder than the other person, because there's a lot of people out there trying to do what you're doing. You just got to outwork them. So I strongly believe in that.
Well, you tell your mom and dad thank you. We so appreciate the good work that you're doing. Thank you so much for coming to Michigan. How do people get connected to Holo, and what is kind of the website so that people can check it out, and then give the directions too in downtown Grand Rapids, the addresses where people can stop in and see you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would say our doors are open, our HQ, our showroom, design studio. They can definitely come. It's just it's on 50 Lewis Street. Is a CWD building, and we're on the 5th floor, so 530 is our suite. Just come on up. Doors are open. Like I said, to the community. If anyone was interested in just looking at product, or in our industry, there's just like everything has to be like a secret. Like we're not saving lives here. We're just making cool shoes for people to wear. People are welcome. Come look at them. And then from our website is www.holofootwear.com. We will start selling on our own personal website on October 1st. So it's the big launch for our direct-to-consumer. You can currently find those on Nordstrom.com, Backcountry.com, Macy's.com. Soon we'll be at Meijer, and we'll be also available at Von Maur in the next 2 weeks. So we're very excited about that launch. And then, we'll keep moving on. We have Moose Jaw, another local Michigan company, coming to visit us in the next coming weeks. See if we can get something done with them. So we're very excited. Love the support from everyone. And then you can also email us at holo@holofootwear.com. And anything people need, reach out to me personally. I'm available. The team's available for just be part of the community.
Well, Rommel, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I wish you continued success. I'm going to stop in and see you. I'm going to buy a pair of Mavericks.
I appreciate that.
All right. You bet. So much. Take care of yourself. I want to thank my guest, Rommel Vega, CEO of Holo Footwear. I also want to thank my supporting sponsors, Dougherty Industries, Governmental Consultant Services, AF Group, Public Affairs Associates, and Mercantile Bank. You can listen to all of my podcasts at connectwithkb.com. Until we connect again, go live your best life. I'm your host, Kristen Belzer.